Hey, yo, what up, my 1751 family? I'd like to thank you all for tuning in, man. For those of you who have already smashed and subscribed, I'd like to take my hat off to y'all, man. Thank y'all for your unwavering support. It means so much to me, man. You know, for those of you who have yet to hit that subscribe, what are you waiting for? Go on over and smash and subscribe, man. Stop playing. And don't forget to hit that bell notification while you're at it. Now, anyway, getting into it, man. Today we're going to be reporting on a situation, a rather unfortunate situation coming out of Detroit, Michigan, where you have a mother and a daughter whose the mother is accused of stealing a TV, a flat screen 75-inch TV out of a department store. Okay, now getting into it, man. I'm gonna break this thing down. So y'all might as well go ahead and get some popcorn, man, and kick back, because this is about to get interesting. Now, this situation began with a lady by the name of Denise Williams. Denise Williams. She was in a department store. She purchased a 75-inch TV. She made her way to the counter where she rung that TV up. She paid for it and probably didn't get a receipt. Could easily be a mistake of the cashier, because a lot of times, we buy things and we be in a rush to get out of there and we forget to grab a receipt, or we don't think we need a receipt. It's not that important. I don't know what happened in this situation, but what I do know is that Denise Williams, she tried to, after paying for that TV, she tried to make her way out of the store. And as a lot of in a lot of these stores like Target and Walmart, they have a receipt man standing at the door, for checkout. Make sure that the items that you're leaving out the store with are paid for, right? Now, as Denise made it to the front of the store, the receipt man stopped her and asked for a receipt.
Receipt, can I see your receipt, please?
Yeah, here you go.
Your receipt. Where's the flat screen TV?
Oh, I forgot, but I scanned it though.
No, you didn't scan it. Back it up.
Bro, let
No.
me move, bro.
No, you're not going anywhere.
Bro, let me leave.
Put it back.
Bro, you tripping.
Put it back.
Bro, oh my gosh.
Now. I'm so sorry. She's stealing.
Denise, however, realized she don't have her receipt. She misplaced it or she never grabbed it. So, in order to prove this guy that she paid for the TV outright, she went back to the cash register, as she should have. Spoke to the cash register, the cashier, and let her know, asked her, can she let the doorman know that I paid for this product, for this TV? Which the cashier, told this doorman, that Denise purchased the TV, right? Although she clarified that to the man still, he still wouldn't let Denise leave the store. Now, as time went on, I'm guessing Denise got frustrated with this guy holding her at the door, and knowing that she's an honest customer and she paid for her product, but she had this scumbag at the door who knows that she paid for the product but refused to let her leave the store, right? As time passed, Denise pushed past the man and made her way out the store with her TV in the cart, right? Now, as she made her way to her car in the parking lot, she gestured to a man, I'm guessing a random man, to help her lower her TV into the vehicle, which her daughter, got inside the vehicle into the passenger side. You know, as she was loading the TV into the back of her vehicle, she noticed a police officer, you know, pulling up on her. And as the police officer exited the vehicle, they approached her, and you know, a conversation was had about the incident that just happened in the store. Now, this lady tried to tell the police officer the same way that she tried to tell the doorman, I paid for this television. You know, I just don't have my receipt. If you want to, you can go back into the store. Y'all can run the cameras back. I am an honest paying customer. You know? However, the police officer gave this lady a hard time. You know, obviously Denise wasn't feeling too easy, man. So her and the police officer, you know, got into a verbal dispute, which led into a physical altercation, where somehow these two women wrestled each other to the ground, right? And as they hit the ground, the officer got on top of Denise and attempted to strangle her. You know, obviously emotions was running high. You know, police officers having egos, man, kind of distort their view in their duties as a police officer to carry out the duties that they sworn in to uphold, you know, to protect and serve. A lot of times they get in these situations and they forget the sole reason that they even filled out for this job. You know, or you know, another possibility, they could have taken this job, you know, for the privilege of being able to have it their way, you know, and press up on people behind, you know, hide behind a badge, right? But anyway, this police officer was on top of Denise Williams. Denise Williams was, you know, losing her breath, where she screamed for her daughter. Now, where it gets interesting, Denise, interestingly enough, right? She wasn't your average parent. Denise Williams, she taught her daughter Delia, which is 6 years old, 6-year-old little girl, man. She taught her daughter how to protect herself in self-defense. And as she was getting choked out by the police officer on the ground, she screamed out for her daughter, and her, you know, which her daughter knew that Denise Williams kept her pistol in the glove compartment. You know, at that point, the little girl heard her mother screaming out for help, calling her name. The little girl, you know, she flew into defense mode, and she opened that glove compartment and got the pistol out. As she exited the vehicle, you know, to see this officer strangling her mother, she gave a few commands. You know, get off my mommy. Get off of my mommy. I will shoot you. Right? Now, for some reason or another, this officer refused to obey the 6-year-old's commands. And after shouting to this officer several times, get off my mommy, officer obviously underestimated this 6-year-old, you know. And as a result, this 6-year-old put multiple bullets into this officer. You know, this 6-year-old put the fire on that officer. She put the fire on that officer, you know, to protect her mother. Rightfully so. I think she did a great job. I think she did a goddamn great job, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it probably would have been, you know, her mother that would have been laid out on that ground had she not grabbed that pistol and went to defend her mother, right? Now, where it gets even more interesting is this officer passed away. Denise was arrested, right? The child and the niece, well, the niece was charged, in which later down the line, their case was dismissed on self-defense. You know, the little girl was said to have been she was said to have fired that firearm in self-defense, and that self-defense was honored in a court of law. You know, so I was kind of surprised to hear that. You know, because a lot of times, man, when it comes to police officers, man, they just automatically defend the police, whether right or wrong. You know, this is an issue that goes on all over America. Officers slaughter black folks day in, day out. And most of these incidents you never hear about. They don't make it to the mainstream media. You know, but this one was rather interesting compared to a lot of other situations. You know, for the fact that it was a 6-year-old little girl who was trained by her mother previously to that event. You know, how to hold the gun, how to aim it, and how to shoot. You know, and that training paid off in the end. You know, now, like I said, they beat the case on the self-defense because the body cam footage was reviewed. It was reviewed, and it was evident that that officer used excessive force. You know, due to her ego, due to Denise Williams talking back and giving her some lip, right? The officer, her ego caused her to get into a physical altercation with Denise Williams, which led to this whole incident turning out in tragedy, in the loss of life of this Detroit officer. You know, now we all know there are a lot of interesting events that happens, you know, in Detroit, Michigan. You know, but this one here is rather, unique, to say the least. Because you don't hear about this type of thing every day, man. A 6-year-old defending her mother with a firearm. You wouldn't even think a 6-year-old can handle the recoil on a firearm, you know. But obviously, this little girl, she learned very well how to defend herself and her family, you know. And in this incident, it all paid off. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that, I condone violence against police officers, but I also don't condone violence against, civilians on behalf of police officers. You know, we need to somehow get to some type of common ground and understanding that all of us need to be civilized, man, and try our best to just live a, straightforward, civilized existence, right? As long as you got people out here who think that they have some sort of power over another person, we're always going to have a problem. We're always going to have a situation that will ultimately end up in tragedy, But like I said, man, this story here, I had to review this one, man, because this is almost like a one-off. You hear a lot about kids being left unattended, with a firearm in the house and end up getting to that firearm and harming themselves with the firearm. We hear about that a lot, you know. We hear about a lot of different situations, but this one here is rather unique. You know, this little girl, she sprung into action, and she stopped. She demobilized the threat to her mother, and I salute that young girl for that. Right now, although this was a very interesting situation and the officer was in the wrong, I still can't bring myself to utter, you know, negative things about the officer, you know, being as though she's deceased. Now, this woman could have easily been the person who was unalive in that situation. But hey, you know, sometimes the police officer got to take a hit, man, so that the message can get across to the rest of the police officers out there, man, who feel like they can just stumble all over, you know, step all over people's rights, and that they don't have to hear people out. You know, the power is in their hands, and whatever they say goes. People are getting tired of that, man. We are getting sick and tired of police officers trampling all over our rights. You know, and as a lot of you, you know, may be witnessing, you know, I know damn well I'm witnessing, there's been a lot of police officers being gunned down lately, all across America. People are tired, man. People are tired of the people who are sworn in to protect and serve us. We are sick and tired of them violating the very rights that they're supposed to be, you know, honoring. You know, but sadly, sadly, a lot of police officers, they dishonor, man. They don't acknowledge. A lot of police officers, they don't acknowledge the rights that, you know, civilians have, man. You know, and that's the cause of a lot of these situations. A lot of these officers being gunned down. Some people, they understand that there is no reasoning with the police, man. When they feel like they want to challenge you on something that they're saying you done wrong, but you know you haven't. You know you didn't do. You know, a lot of guys, man, and women as well, they're tired of this shit, man. You know, they're ready to fight back, man. And as crazy as it sounds, there are a lot of people out here who are really sick and tired of being sick and tired, man. And they're ready for the next police officer who tries to violate their rights. And they're willing to take whatever comes with it. You know, but anyway, man, that was a rather long review, but it was very interesting, man. You know, and sometimes, man, we gotta take our time and break these things down, man. You know, so I can make sure I give it to y'all. You know, and I gotta make sure that my viewers are satisfied. So we're not gonna do this thing in 5 minutes. You know, we're gonna break it down and get to the bottom of it, so that y'all know what's going on. But anyway, man, until next time, it's your boy, Mr. 1751, bringing you another 1751 review. And until next video, y'all stay up. Hey, if you enjoy watching videos like these, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. Help your boy get into the algorithm so that I can continue to bring you more videos just like the one you just watched. Anyway, until next time, y'all stay up.